This time on Make It Mental, we're going to make a scale realistic shovel, and I believe it's going to be fairly simple to do. I got a scrap piece of very thin aluminum, just a simple little scrap piece. I started to draw it out, as you can see here on one side, and realized I didn't quite have enough for what I wanted to do, so I turned it around. Let me angle the camera a little bit differently. Still doesn't like that, and I guess it likes that position. So between this line, well, let me get something pointy. Between this line right here and this line right here is where my bamboo skewer is going to go for barbecuing. I'm simply going to slice it from there to there, and then slice it from there to there. Then this is going to get rolled over, and this is going to get rolled over. More than likely, this little piece right here is going to get cut off, and more than likely, from my best guess, this little piece is going to get cut off. I'm just going to shape it around this area right here and give the little shovel a little bit of a curve, right? A real shovel, the stick or the pole mounts behind the blade, for leverage, but I don't feel like making all those complex curves, because this area right in here would actually have to have a bump in it for the stick to slide behind it. Then this would have to curve, and this would have to curve, and then it would have another concave type shape. It's actually very complex, the shape of a shovel, if you actually look at it. So we're going to keep it very simple. We're just going to wrap this around, and we'll give this a slight bend, and then paint this maybe a matte black, and then go back through it and maybe hit the edges with the fine piece of sandpaper or something to let everybody know it's actual metal right there. Should be fairly easy. So here's the first slice into my shovel. I just simply went all the way in from the edge, all the way to where the bamboo skewer lays, all the way to the edge, and then just that mark right there in the middle is about where the bamboo skewer will lay down, right? So this stuff you see on the edges is more than likely going to get trimmed down, and I'm going to go ahead and trim down a little bit on each side, because I'm going to then fold this around and then this around. Probably it's only going to need, in all actuality, about half of this distance I drew out from each one of these, more than likely. So here is a roughed out look of my shovel head. Now I'm going to go through with my rotary tool, and I'm going to go ahead and shape it, the shovel area, a little bit more. I'm going to use my rotary tool on the lowest speed setting and just kind of shape it so that way it looks symmetrical on one side to the other. I think this is going to be still a little bit too big. I rolled the stick across to the best of my ability to see where one complete revolution is. I think it's a little bit too big, but we'll trim it down as needed, or sand it down as needed. Now we got a rough shape in there. The next step is I'm going to lay my bamboo skewer in here, like so. And then I'm going to use a small pair of pliers and try and get that to bend around, like so. Alright, and then we'll just cut it off to whatever length we think we need, and then you can add shape to it if you want to. You can make it a little bit thinner somewhere, a little bit thicker in other places, whatever you want to do. Alright, with one pair of pliers, as you can see right here, I'm holding it roughly in the center. I'm using a smaller pair of pliers to kind of get it started. I just kind of gently pinch it, like so, to get it started. So one to hold it in the center, and another pair to start the rolling process. See how that's looking now? We'll continue to form that around. Alright, it's looking more like a shovel now, huh? And so all you do, once you get it started, just keep squeezing it, squeezing it, squeezing it, squeezing it, squeezing it, and start on the back side as close as you can. And just squeeze it, just gently squeeze it, slowly rotate it as you squeeze it back and forth, and slowly rotate it, and you should end up with a nice or fairly round focus. Fucking thing. Focus. Anyway, I think you guys are getting the idea. And then once I complete that, I'll put a slight little shape in the shovel head there. Then I'll trim it off to size, and then I think it'll get a little bit of paint on the tip right here, and then we'll pretty much call it good. Pretty simple, huh? A lot faster than printing it, a lot faster than ordering it. And this particular thing didn't cost me anything, and it probably won't cost you anything either if you have some scraps laying around.